Yeah, it's your boy Fist in the His House, bringing out a great edition of Black Ops 1 from me to you, because that's what I do. Old school M60 LMG smoke jammer. You know, those awesome, when it was fun to find a couple of things, a combination that was actually made sense, that worked in a Call of Duty game, a modern military first-person shooter. You know, you look back at this game now and you appreciate it. When you look back at Black Ops 1 and you say to yourself, wow, this game was probably Treyarch's best made Call of Duty. And I can tell you a couple things. I mean, if you look to the left and you look to the right, you look to the left, you see Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare 2. You look to the right, you see Black Ops 2 and Ghost. And you say to yourself, you know, Treyarch went off on a tangent. I mean, I feel like David Vonderhaar and those guys decided that they were going to, decide that they weren't going to follow the old Adam West and Zampella's format of doing a military first-person shooter anymore. And I think this is the greatest compliment to that franchise at the time when Black Ops was developing, when Treyarch was developing Black Ops. And what I mean by that is this. If you look to the right, you'll notice that the kill streaks are terrible. And the sniper rifles are way overpowered, and they're not part of the whole weapon balancing system. You know, you look to the left, you see Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare 2. The weapons were balanced according to the game, with minor exceptions. Overall, it wasn't extreme. You had a chance to balance. You had a chance to fight other weapons. And then you look at Black Ops 1 and you say to yourself, this is probably the most played game ever online, Xbox Live and PS3 or PS3 at the time, PSN. This was the most played Call of Duty online ever. And here's the reason why. You had a vintage first-person shooter game that you had to have some creativity in combinations of what you were using. Everything worked together. The jammer, the smoke, the weapon, all combined. Whatever you were using, things made sense in this game. Snipers in Black Ops 1. You had to have skills to use a sniper in Black Ops 1. That meant that the weapons that everybody were using, that were supposed to work in the game, that made sense, were the front runner of the weapons you were supposed to use. For example, the SMGs and the assault rifles. I mean, there's 7 assault rifles, 5 SMGs. That is the core of the first-person shooter of this game. That was the focus. That's what the game was about. Now you look to the right, the kill streaks were really terrible. Maybe the weapons were really good, but there's no kill streaks. The fun factor wasn't there. They took the fun factor out. And that's what you had in Black Ops 1. You have a fun factor. You know, you do have wild kill streaks that make the game fun and fast moving. You know, here's the point that I'm trying to make. Microsoft just bought Minecraft for $2.5 billion. Look at that. I mean, the reason being is that everybody can pick up the game and play it. That's the same thing about Call of Duty at the time. I think this was really the last Call of Duty. Black Ops 2 or Black Ops 1 was the last real Call of Duty that anybody could pick up and play. And this is why it's important, and people seem to forget this, is that when you have a game that is not pick up and play for everybody, it's not fun anymore. Look at Destiny. It's a cross between Borderlands and Halo. You reach level 20, and then after that, you have to get legendaries and shards and all that stuff. And you invested $60, and you're chasing your tail. Like, they're saying our game isn't good enough, so we're gonna make the levels so hard for the people who bought this game that in order to rank up, you have to do that. You know, I mean, and people then make stupid comments like, "Oh, you have to prestige." But you're still the same weapons. You're not advancing past anybody else. If you prestige once, that's it. You don't have to prestige anymore. You're still unlocking whatever anybody else unlocked at prestige five times. If they're just doing it because they just like to do it. They like to go through the weapons. They like to re-experience the weapons again. That's the point of prestiging, is to relearn the weapons and cycle through them again. Sometimes humans are creatures of habits. They get stuck with one weapon. They eat at the same place. They do the same thing over and over again. But see, then you have like Destiny, and you create this level unbalancing design of the game where, you know, you can reach level 30 and your weapon's extremely more powerful than the next guy. And then you have some guy that jumps in the game and he's new to the game. He's going to get spanked. Whereas you look at Call of Duty, and this is how you keep the game alive. And this is why this game would have never died, is because if I lay the M16 down and they're both the same weapon, and this is where I get confused when people say skill gap. Skill gap, that's when you lose everybody. When you have to go to level 30 in Destiny and people don't want to work for those items, then you lose all the new people that would come into the game. Those are the variables and the statistics of seeing new players, and the not knowing what they're going to do is what's exciting. The variables and the realism that you don't know what's going to happen in the game because they've picked up the M16 that's just as strong as the M16 that you're using. You want new players to continuously keep playing your game. And when you have games like that where they cut off and you have to go chase stuff and chase crumbs to have a better weapon and better stuff than the next guy, then you know what? We live in 2014, 2015. People are not going to stay around for a head beating. That's why, like I said, Microsoft is so popular, and that's why old Call of Duty are so popular. Is because everybody can pick up and play the game. There's no such thing as a skill gap. It's all about the time that you invest in the weapon and how you understand the map rotation and knowing, and the skill gap is not knowing what new players are going to do with the weapons, the same weapons you're using, because you are a creature who haven't been using the same weapons for so long. They might have a different take on how to use the weapons against you. And that's what was great about using systems like the jammer and smoke, and they don't know, they're looking at the mini-map and they can't see you, or they know that somebody's there but they don't know where you are. And you kind of draw them into your fight, and you're setting up little meta games within the game, meta battles. You know, that's what's exciting about this. This is what Call of Duty got away from, and it's unfortunate. I don't know what's going to happen with the new Call of Duty. You know, I mean, the way I look at it now, Destiny is not a $500 million game. It's 30 frames per second, and you have to chase to get rank that you can have over somebody else. That's a very, very funneled down tribal game. How many people do you think are going to do that at the end of the day when it comes down to it? And when you get done with it, how proud are you going to be of yourself? Like, who are you going to play against? A very small, minute group of people. It's going to be boring at the end of the day. So when I look at Destiny and what Activision is doing, and they're spending it's not a $500 million game. They spent $500 million on marketing and advertising. The game has really no substance, and that's why I go back and look at these games and I say, you know what? They were going in the right direction, but they kind of lost their way a little bit. I don't know what I'm going to do with Advanced Warfare. But anyways, had some time off. Check out my other live video on Fist 2. The link's below in the description. Until next time, peace. I'm out.